Hi guys, this is Radhika here again. So today's video is for children who have covert narcissistic parents. So if you have an overt narcissistic parent, it becomes very easy to identify them because yeah, they'll basically just be jerks. And covert narcissistic parents also, because you have grown up with them, you probably know that something is a bit off, because even if they, I mean, you must have historically identified that even though they seem very nice, your parents, somehow they don't do very well in relationships with others. And yeah, this can happen, and it can also happen if your parents are actually the black sheep of the family and the whole clan is narcissistic. But in that case, you would have had a very validated and good childhood. So yeah, I mean, when I say that relationships around the narcissist go sour, sometimes it's also that your parent is not the narcissist. The other people might be the narcissist in the situation. But yeah, if you have kind of recognized that your parents have some traits of narcissism, um, and since it's mothers, usually females are covert more than overt, because they still try to conform to some society standards. So they will try to keep this veil of being really nice and really angelic going, but covertly they might, like, you might see it in their behavior that they are competing with you or competing with other women, and all these things, that covert narcissist, all the characteristics, you will see it in them. They will the relationships around them will go sour. They are not really happy, always trying to project an image of themselves, very offended if you basically correct them for anything. So yeah, you will see these traits. So if you have a covert narcissistic mother, then what do you do? So here are some tips and tricks that I have, because I have seen this situation. So if you It's first of all a very tricky situation, because you, as the child of a covert narcissistic mother, of course loves your mother, because a child is always going to love his mother. And even if you have gone no contact or gray rock, a part of you still loves your parent, right? It's just natural. So that's okay. And they might have done some terrible things, even tried to break off your family, and things like that. But so yeah, it's a tricky situation, because it's someone you love, but they act in such a way which is very weird to you. Like, why are they acting like this? And also it's difficult to keep that balance, to maintain the balance of still being with them, doing everything for your mother, and at the same time leading your life without being affected by your mother's behavior. So yeah, it is a difficult thing to do. So first of all, if you are not married, it becomes a little bit easier, because it's just you that you have to manage, other than your mother and your parents or your original family. You don't have your own family as such to manage. So yeah, if you are not married, I would say, first of all, recognize that it is like, what are the traits of your mom, and is she a narcissist? And if you recognize that she is a narcissist, then you will have to start changing your behavior towards her little by little, because maybe all this time you have been giving her great praise, great care, and everything, and sometimes she just misfires. Like sometimes you do something wrong and she unloads on you, and you might have felt that this is just, she's just being her. And now that you have realized that she is a narcissist, you really need to stop becoming a source of supply to her, because till now you were a source of narcissistic supply for her. And now that you have realized everything about narcissism, the time has come that you slowly start taking the supply away. And so yeah, you will have to set your boundaries now. You will have to tell her sometimes that, you know what, I am a grown person now and I can take care of my own things. And you will have to, like, make some changes in your life, so that the influence that she has over your life gets reduced. So if she is always feeding you tasty things, or if she is always making things that you like, you will have to take that responsibility for yourself. So you can make the things that you want to eat, and remove her from the equation, because that is the way in which she is kind of helping you out, and that is something that she is going to um, hold on to later. So she will say that I sacrificed my health because I used to be cooking for you, and things like that. And you need to take care of those things, because she might also actually be overworking herself by cooking a lot, because that's her way of getting validation from you, because she is not feeling validated inside. So she will keep cooking things, and she will keep overworking, she will keep doing things for you. And then those things that she does for you will become her excuse to control you. So you have to realize you can just simply do the things yourself. You will have to take a little more responsibility, you will have to do a little more work, but in return for that, you will get a lot of peace of mind later on, because she will hold these things against you. All the things that she's doing for you, you might think they are unconditional, but you will realize later that they are not unconditional. And moreover, even if from the other point of view, let her spend this time doing something she likes, instead of always doing something for other people in the family and keeping them hooked that way, and keeping them, like, holding all these things against them. Tell her that, you know what, you have 2 hours, do something you like. You can watch TV, you can go out for a walk, you can join some classes. I can pay for it. You can offer to pay for it. If she likes, if she's healthy enough, she can go to a gym, or she can take a walk in the park, and it will be good for her to get out of the house, to do something for herself. Because a lot of covert narcissists, they feel worthless inside. That's why they are looking for worth outside of themselves, and that's why they overdo, things. They overgive, and then they kind of keep on fulfilling, like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So they felt worthless when they were kids, and they keep doing things such that everyone around them will keep repeating this to them, that you are worthless, you are worthless. And so if she does so many things for you, and one day you fight with her over some boundary that she overstepped, maybe she looked inside your closet, or she opened up some drawers and looked at your stuff, and you say, why did you look at it? She's going to burst on you, and she's going to bring all those things out, that I do this for you, I do that for you. And basically in the end, she will go back to that feeling that I am worthless, I do so much for everyone and no one recognizes what I do for them. So she is acting on this subconscious belief that she has, that she is worthless, and she will keep doing things, so that it comes to a point where you will have to show your strong side, and then she will again go back to feeling worthless. So, and then you will feel bad for her, and then you will do things to make her feel good and things like that. But this cycle is just dysfunctional, and it will always continue. So to stop this cycle, she has to feel worthy by herself. She has to enjoy her life without, say, she was alone on an island, she should be able to enjoy her life. And no narcissist is going to be able to do that because they need validation from the outside world. So they need to have human beings around them, either validating, criticizing, doing something to them. They just cannot be alone. So you, if you really want good for your mom who's a covert narcissist, you can try to get them into some hobby class, something like that, just something that they like to do. Just make them reinvent it. Make them reinvent themselves like they were when they were kids, before they felt worthless. Okay, and then the next point is, try not to become the savior of her life, because I see this a lot. Covert narcissistic mothers, what happens with them is the husband checks out. Usually when they are by the old age, the husband is done, because he's tired, he has been through this a long time. So the husband will just try to avoid the wife at any cost. So the wife will in turn look for the children for her narcissistic supply. And in this case, the wife, because the mom has been suffering all her life, she will have this kind of a save me attitude, like you have to save me. And she will go to her kids with this attitude that you have to save me. And it'll either be the daughter or the son or whoever, whichever child she has or she has access to, she's going to go to that child and always be like a child to the child, to the grown child. She will go back to the child role, she will complain to the child, she will unload on the child, and she basically doesn't know how to process her emotions. So she's going to make you her savior or her parent, and you are going to have to parent her. And it's true, you will have to, so you can guide her in the right way. You can see the videos I have on the chakras, and the Swadhisthana chakra is, I think, the chakra that Swadhisthana and Manipur is the chakra that I feel a lot of narcissists have imbalances in. They are not able to process energy over those centers, so they get stuck there. They are either in Swadhisthana or they're either in Manipur. Sometimes they reach the Anahat chakra, but never they don't come here, because if they did come to the Vishuddhi chakra or the Ajna chakra, they would be wise, they would have some wisdom and they wouldn't be narcissists anymore. So yeah, they get stuck somewhere down here, mostly in Manipura and Swadhisthana. So you can watch the videos I have on that. There are so many yoga exercises they can do. They can make changes to their diet. They can do some easy things like swimming, or just taking a walk, grounding themselves. So there are many things you can ask them, or just participate with them in those things, or just ask them to join a group of Tai Chi or Qigong, something like that, or yoga. And just see if it improves your life a little bit, because I think these methods do work. They take some time to work. They are not like magic fix it all pills, but nothing is for narcissism. It takes a long time. You have to go deep and actually repair a lot of things in your soul. So it's gonna take time. But yeah, you can help out your mom that way. Okay, so if you have a spouse, it becomes even more difficult, because after some time, your covert narcissistic mother is going to start competing with your spouse. No matter, even if you are a daughter, your covert narcissistic mother is going to compete with your husband, even. So they're just competitive. Okay, they will compete with anyone and anything. So basically, if you have recognized this, that this is a problem that your mother has, then I would say keep your relationship with your mother and your spouse as separate as possible, because it is a very big possibility that your mother is going to try to create a wedge between you and your spouse. And if you already know that this might happen, you will be aware of it and you will keep your relationships separate. And I really feel it's not a very difficult thing to do. I know a lot of us have been taught that no, we have to have this like close knit family kind of a thing. And let me tell you, it's very difficult to do that with your wife and a mother if you are a man. Anyways, like even if narcissism is not in the picture, that's a difficult thing to do. So when you have narcissism in picture with this situation, it's pretty much impossible. And if you are a daughter who has a narcissistic mother and you have a husband, it completely depends on how your husband is, how accommodating he is to your mother. And I mean, it's not good for him either way, okay? If he is not very accommodating, that means you and him are going to have a lot of fights. If he is accommodating, that means he is going to suffer a lot because he is going to agree to a lot of stuff that your mother says or does. So I would say the best thing to do is set your boundaries and keep your relations separate with both of them. Do not try to become a big happy family. That's never going to happen. You have to recognize that. With a narcissist, that is a remote possibility. So, what you can do is you can safeguard both your relationships, keep them separate. It's not that difficult. You just have to change your mindset. You know, we all wish for ideal relationships, but we just need to recognize it's not going to be ideal. And keep it as you keep your relationship with your boss and you keep the relationship with your wife at home, it's or husband at home. These are separate relationships, right? If your boss says something about your husband, is it going to affect you? If tomorrow my boss says that, hey, I think your husband's a bit arrogant, am I going to come home and really feel that my husband is arrogant? Of course not. I'm going to say, you just mind your, like in my mind, I'm going to tell my boss, please mind your own business. Don't tell me about my husband. So, same way, treat your covert narcissistic mother if she is saying something about your husband, or if you're a man and she's saying something about your wife, you don't have to fight it. You can fight it, but do you want to? That's a question that you have to answer. But what I'm saying is, don't let it get into your inner space, because a lot of time children who don't know, they actually take the opinion of their covert narcissistic mother very seriously, and it starts to kind of fog their judgment about their own spouse. And that can be really dangerous, because if that goes on happening, your spouse, if depends on their level of niceness, they might take it up to a degree, but after that they'll just be like, I'm out of this shit. Because especially if you are from a narcissistic clan and your covert narcissistic mother has all the children as her saviors and all of them team up against your spouse does not stand a chance, and your spouse is going to be super tired, super exhausted of all of this BS going on. And a big chance is that they will say, you know what, if I am causing so many problems in your life, let me just go out of it. And that's the time you will realize that, what is happening? I love my spouse. Why is this happening? And she or he is not the way that my family thinks they are. And I was buying into that vision. So suddenly all of these things will come to you. But I hope it's not too late when it comes to you and you can repair the situation. So yeah, so you will have to take responsibility of your parents, and your spouse will have to be kind of on the sidelines when you are dealing with your parents, because they will not be able to help you as much, because if they help, they are going to become the new scapegoat. So you will have to keep them away, help your parents, then go back and be with your spouse. So you will have to keep this kind of a wall between these two relationships, and you can play your part in both the relationships. But yeah, you will have to get rid of that expectation of a big happy family. Although you can be happy with your parents, and then you can be happy with your own family. So yeah, you can have two happy families instead of one happy family. So yeah, those were my tips and tricks. And if you have any experience of this, if you have any suggestions how people can survive in this kind of a relationship while keeping their sanity, then please do comment below. I love reading your comments, and thanks for all the comments you guys have already been putting. Yep, I hope this helps, and I wish you guys a lot of love and a lot of light. Thanks. Bye.